Welcome to the Sports Card Talk Show. Sports Card Talk Show with Kevin Anderson and Lauren Walker, the Skull Brothers.
All right, welcome to episode 21 of the Sports Card Talk Show. Today we have the Mount Rushmore of the Eagles. We're super excited to invite Finn at Soulbrothacards on with us.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome having him back. I'm excited to give him a call here.
Yeah, let's get him on the phone.
It's ding-a-ling-ding.
All right, we got Finn at Soulbrothacards on the show with us now to rep his Eagles. We're excited to see what your Mount Rushmore is.
Yeah, hey Finn. How you doing, man?
Happy to be back.
Yeah. Been enjoying your content as usual on Instagram. You're always having those thought-provoking and interesting posts. And
I still need to comment on the one you had yesterday about the jersey number, serial number.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the last number, but I'll pick up last numbers if you know.
Okay. More the first of the print.
First and the jersey number. I like the jersey number.
Yeah.
But I'm not into
That one guy had a comment. It was like Cush's cards. I think he's the one that collects one-ofs of Contenders Draft.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And he has a really cool collection. And the way he explained it and described it kind of put it in a better perspective for me too, because for me it's always seemed just kind of superfluous and unimportant, but the way he described it, how it kind of gives his collection a cohesion.
Yeah.
It spoke to me at a collector level, you know, rather than just trying to sell off jersey number cards for more, call it eBay 1-of-1 to get more money out of it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I think people with a little OCD, you know, I like numbers, and the OCD in me wants the first card or the jersey number.
Yeah.
And I like getting the last number if I already have the first number, because then I got the bookends, you know, so.
Yeah. And that's what's cool about your points, though. It gets people talking and thinking about it, man.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that, and it's awesome that you do that, you know. So many times I find myself just putting this card, this number, and just putting it up, and I'm like, man, I should really put a little something, you know. So you kind of actually inspired, I don't know if you saw it, but my basketball one where I quoted a song and I had the players in there. I'm like, man, I should really do it up. And so you inspired that, man. So thank you.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah. So yeah, should we jump into it? Do you have any honorable mentions, or you got straight into the Mount Rushmore?
I can start. I have two honorable mentions. So I try to cover, for the most part, the entire history of the Eagles, or at least the successful eras that we had. So I'll start with the two honorable mentions I had. First was Harold Carmichael.
Oh, yep.
I think he played for about 13 years. He was with like Jaworski in the early 80s.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and so he was part of that real successful, I guess that was probably the most successful the Eagles had been in the NFL as the NFL stood, you know, because that was the first Super Bowl we went to.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was on the All-Decade team. 70s, so anyone who's on the All-Decade team has got to be right up there.
Normally, all-decade team guys are Hall of Famers.
Yeah, and I think he should be a Hall of Famer. And it kind of surprised me, actually. When I was looking it up, I didn't realize he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, oh, wow, he isn't even a Hall of Famer.
Wow.
In fact, the Eagles don't actually have all that many.
I think I heard like 8 or 9 or something.
Yeah, and like my next honorable mention, Reggie White, a lot of them have histories with other teams.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, even Dawkins played for the Broncos, although he'll always go down as an Eagle.
Right.
But yeah, I noticed that it doesn't seem like, at least recently in my history, you know, Dawkins was kind of the only one.
Yeah.
And Reggie White.
Sure.
And yeah, actually, that would be the next honorable mention.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a sweet card, man.
Yeah, I love this card. I think maybe Greg sent it to me.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah, it's I really like the card. So I have a couple Reggie White cards, but that was the one I chose because I think that one's cool.
Yeah.
I always like those kind of portrait ones. They did those in Luminance.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen those, and they're really cool looking.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so Reggie White, he was probably the closest to making the Mount Rushmore.
Uh-huh.
He was right on the verge. But actually, asking a lot of other Eagles fans, both my age and older,
Uh-huh.
most of them left him out of their first list.
Right.
And it wasn't until I reminded them, they're like, but just his history with the Packers. He played about half his career with the Eagles and then half with the Packers, and he was almost equally productive.
You're right.
In both, and he also won a Super Bowl with the Packers.
Right.
And so I just feel like, and a lot of other Eagles fans feel like his legacy is so split evenly.
Mm-hmm.
That it's really hard for us to say, yeah, he's ours and ours only. Let's put him on our Mount Rushmore,
Right.
I mean, we never made a Super Bowl. We never won a Super Bowl with them. Which, don't get me wrong, we didn't win a Super Bowl with a lot of guys. But still, I guess that's why he's the fifth.
Right. And that's what's fun about doing this, though, is getting the team's fans' perspectives. Like, we enjoy football, but obviously Vikings are where our heart lies. So it's been really fun. It's been really fun getting other people's perspective.
Yeah, and that was a ton of fun. I probably messaged like 6 or 7 different people that I talked to on Instagram that are Eagles fans just to get their perspective on it. And yeah, I got all sorts of answers. I mean, there are probably 20 different players that I could have put in the honorable mention.
Wow. Yeah. Awesome. So
I can move on to the real list now.
Yeah. All right.
I guess I'll go in chronological order.
Okay.
Probably be the easiest way to do it. So this was the card that I posted yesterday.
Yeah.
The Chuck Bednarik.
Yep.
It's almost sad how cheap you can find autos of a player like him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this card was $25 shipped. It's a cut autograph. He's dead. He'll never sign another autograph.
Yeah.
Like one of the greatest players of all time. I mean, he was a waist gunner in World War II.
Wow.
Like just a really interesting, cool guy, and it's just kind of crazy and kind of sad to me sometimes just how cheap you can go find their cards. You would think this would be the thing that's hundreds of dollars, not the 10,000th Mahomes auto.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But, I mean, that's where we stand. But he was probably the most fun one to research. He's a really interesting just person in general. He was really outspoken about the softening of the NFL.
Yep.
How it's kind of turning into a pansy league, which I agree with to a degree. It really bothers me watching games and seeing, I posted about it, and just seeing so many penalties that just happen in the occurrence of playing football.
Yeah.
Just by natural action of how they play. And it's just, it makes football hard to watch sometimes. And also the emphasis on certain penalties that just really don't actually affect or are affected by talent. You know what I mean? Like those, like a lot of the roughing the passer calls. Their job is to hit the quarterback.
Right.
Yeah.
They're paid millions of dollars super handsomely to do one job, to tackle that man.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that they get penalized for doing so a half a second too late or landing on the ground.
Right.
I mean, what else are you supposed to do?
Right.
And so, I certainly understand where he's coming from, but I mean, his legacy certainly extends far beyond his outspokenness on the softening of the sport. I mean, he was part of the NFL 75th anniversary team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not sure exactly how many players, but I imagine like 30 players, whatever, to fill the roster, and so if he's on that roster, he's one of the all-timers.
Yeah.
Like, 10-time first-team All-Pro, won two NFL titles when the NFL and the AFL were still split.
Oh, yep.
I mean, I feel like he was the man that really set the foundation for the franchise.
For sure.
I mean, I don't know if the Eagles would have existed in its form, or maybe they would have moved to another city. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
If he hadn't been successful, we hadn't had that success.
Right.
He definitely has to make the list. So then next up in the chronological order would be Randall Cunningham.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
nice.
nice card.
Yeah, really nice.
Thank you. Yeah, I really like this card.
Is that a gold prism?
It's from Majestic.
Oh, sure. Yep.
Yeah, so it's like, it's got kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like you know how those Optic has those velocity?
Yep.
But it's not quite as like the shiny velocity. It's almost like someone just scratched the card with their fingernail.
Oh,
So it
okay.
looks good.
Yeah. It looks real good.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about the gold at first because I saw the silver ones are really clean and slick. And I was like, oh, the gold might just be kind of doing too much, but I actually really liked it.
Yeah.
I like that card
Get a
too.
gold card. My display decides a lot about what cards I pick up, and I needed a gold card specifically. So here we go.
Nice.
But so yeah, I chose Cunningham. He was the one on the list that probably was most influenced by people I talked to.
Oh, okay.
And that might have been the age, too, of people I talked to. Probably, people in their 30s, late 20s to, mid-40s.
Sure.
That's us.
Yep.
For a lot of them, it's that was probably, the man. That was the guy that they remember as, growing up as, their Eagles quarterback.
He was Michael Vick before Michael Vick. He's
Exactly.
Yeah, he was a hell of a lot of fun to watch back in the day. He was the best punter on the team.
He had a 93 yard. He still has one of the top 10 longest punts in NFL history.
Yeah. I mean, the guy was just uber athletic.
Yeah, it's just, and I know the one play he made where he sprawled out to avoid that sack, and he just goes almost parallel to the ground is one of the NFL top 100 plays.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I even had to watch more highlights of him as an Eagle because I remember him as a Viking. That's
Yep.
my age. My memories of him are as a Viking, so I had to watch more highlights of him as an Eagle. And he definitely deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore. Yeah, he kind of, like you said, he was Mike Vick before Mike Vick. He revolutionized the position. And he brought a level of excitement that, people will always remember.
Yep.
Yeah, he was just, I think like you said, he was an athlete that you don't see very often and you just don't encounter very often. And
Right.
you really appreciate it when you get to enjoy that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, he had to make it. Unfortunately, we didn't have as much on-field success as we would have liked.
Right.
When he was playing, and oddly enough, he played for the Cowboys too.
Yeah, and the Ravens, I think, for a minute, didn't he?
Yeah, is that? I just know I've seen the flawless card with him on the Eagles, the Vikings, and the Cowboys. And
Oh.
I would just never pick that card up because it's got the Cowboys uniform.
Right. Right.
I don't mind Dawkins in a Broncos, or that's fine with me.
Right.
But it seems like the NFC East has a lot of crossover between players.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild. McNabb went to the Redskins. Deshaun Jackson went to the Redskins.
Herschel Walker played for the Cowboys, Eagles, and Giants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Herschel Walker played for 3 of the teams. Terrell Owens between the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Yeah.
And it was just. It just seems like there's been a ton of crossover.
Yep.
Not as much between it seems like the Eagles and the Giants. Like I said, Herschel. What's it called? Golden Tate, but he only played for us for a few months.
Right.
But yeah, it seems like we have a ton of crossover between the Redskins and the Cowboys. It seems like our players are always when we signed away DeMarco Murray,
Yep.
which I guess felt good at the time, but it didn't work out very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt good. We're taking him, but it didn't end up working for us.
Right.
But yeah, it seems like we've had a lot of crossover, so I can't hold that against him.
Right.
It's okay that he did play for the Cowboys for a little bit. He can still make the Mount Rushmore.
For sure.
Next up on the list was the easiest, the only unanimous choice. That'd be Weapon X,
Oh, yes.
a.k.a. Brian Dawkins.
Yeah.
This was a card I had to have. When you're talking about bucket list cards,
Uh-huh.
I had seen this a long time ago and I kind of forgot about it. And when I seen one, I just had to pick it up.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, there's probably, especially he's signing a lot more now, so I've probably seen a few hundred Brian Dawkins autographs. I've seen, this has a print run of 25. It's the only card I know of that he signs that way.
Oh, wow.
And I checked online, checked the inscriptions that he wrote on other things to make sure that it is his writing.
Yeah.
Not just some asshole at Panini.
Right.
And then printing this autograph is guaranteed. Yeah, it is an autograph.
Right. Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah,
that's cool card, man.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was the only unanimous choice.
Oh, so all the people you talked to, that was the one?
Everyone. I mean, he's recent enough that everyone remembers him playing, and far enough back that it's not like you're just like picking the newest guy.
Right.
It's also, he's just his legacy in Philadelphia. He probably embodied what it meant to be an Eagles fan, what it meant to be an Eagle. He was the definition of the Philadelphia Eagles for over a decade, and still kind of is.
What's funny is like when we were doing this and Brian Dawkins' name came up, I told Kevin, I'm like, I remember Brian Dawkins being a good safety, but Mount Rushmore player for the Eagles, is he that good? You know, because he just was consistently always good. But, you had guys like Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu always getting all the headlines as safeties in that era,
Mm-hmm. Well, Ed Reed is probably my second favorite. I've mentioned I like to collect safeties, and Ed Reed would probably be my second favorite. He was just so exciting to watch. But people also don't realize just how big of an impact. So, if you look at the numbers, Ed Reed had a lot more interceptions than Brian Dawkins. But Brian Dawkins had way more sacks. He was doing everything.
Oh.
Kind of the way Malcolm Jenkins is on the field for 100% of our snaps now. Brian Dawkins was the one. He was the field general. He was the one that, led the defense. But he was also the one that would do everything.
So Weapon X, like you were saying.
You could count on him to do everything well.
Yeah.
He would rip fumbles out. He would sack the quarterback. He would get tackles for loss. He would get interceptions. It was just everything he did well.
Yeah.
And it was beyond that. Yeah, it was just his personality. He endeared himself to the Eagles fans forever. He laid it out.
His contribution to the team wasn't measured by the stat sheet. I mean,
not necessarily.
Yeah.
He had an amazing stat sheet too. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So his stat sheet was amazing as well. But yeah, it was far beyond that, and that's why he was the only unanimous one.
Okay.
That's awesome.
It just went so far beyond what you can measure in numbers.
Right.
I mean, he still got a ring when we won the Super Bowl, and he just had some ancillary association still with the organization, but there was no way Brian Dawkins wasn't getting a ring.
For sure.
It's that Super Bowl. He made, you can still say his impact is still felt on the franchise.
That's awesome.
Oh, that is cool, man. That's really awesome.
And that's why Malcolm Jenkins, I love Malcolm Jenkins so much, because to me, he's kind of the heir. He was the heir to Dawkins.
Yep.
And he kind of took over that, and it took a while to find one, but he took over that leadership role. I wouldn't say he's quite the safety that Brian Dawkins was.
Right.
But, he does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Impersonating him. He does well enough that we won a Super Bowl, so.
True.
Can't complain.
Right.
But yeah, he was the first choice. That's funny that you mentioned that, Lauren, that you're like, I'm not sure about him, because he's the one that if you ask an Eagles fan, he's the first one we'll go in.
Yeah, and that's because Eagles fans know their team better than outsiders do, Mm-hmm. Yeah, and see, Brian Dawkins wasn't, always being shown on ESPN or in commercials doing, head and shoulders like Troy Polamalu. Ed Reed was making plays every freaking week, Ed Reed is probably one of the best safeties ever to play the game.
Oh, for sure.
And obviously, doing this Mount Rushmore, we've digging into the numbers and the stories and stuff. Brian Dawkins definitely deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, he'll be the first. If we ever etch one up in Philadelphia, then he'll be the first one.
Right.
And then actually, this is the one person that might be able to beat him right now. Next up is Nick Foles.
Oh yeah.
The most recent, on the list, and I think actually a couple people that I talked to didn't put him on the Mount Rushmore, just because I guess his contribution was so abbreviated in that sense,
Right.
So there were a couple people that didn't put him on the list, but I can't leave off it's the only Super Bowl in our franchise history. To me, Mount Rushmore is who were the players that had the biggest impact on the franchise.
Oh, yeah.
Who were the players that stayed with the fans the longest, the ones that were remembered the longest by the fans, who were the ones that brought the most excitement and brought the most success to the Eagles, and it has to be, Nick Foles has to be on there. He was the Super Bowl MVP.
I get you.
So, yeah, he has to make it. And the people that didn't put him on just felt that it was more of a team effort.
Oh, okay.
It was more of a team thing, and I kind of agree with that, but I wanted to cover all the eras of Eagles' success, and I wasn't going to put the entire Super Bowl team on
That would have been an interesting twist, though. That would have been a good twist.
Yeah, I thought about it, but it just seemed like doing it a bit much, and
Right.
yeah, I wanted to, I don't think we got enough mountains to,
Yeah, exactly.
got room for all that, so I'll just choose. I don't think it would have happened without Nick Foles.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
I
Yeah.
think if another backup quarterback had stepped in, I don't think we would have won the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
And so I think when it came down to it,
Do you think if Carson wouldn't have got hurt, do you think they would have won it?
I've thought about that before too. I'm not sure. It's hard to say, because it's just that season. Going into that season, in no way in my mind was I thinking a Super Bowl. I had, I was somewhat optimistic, but I mean,
we all are. We all are.
Yeah, we all have that. We're 0-0. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
But we still had that, or at least I did, still had that kind of Chip Kelly sour taste.
Oh, sure. Yep.
There's poor connection. I don't know if it's just
we see you okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I can just keep going. But
Yeah.
Yeah, we still had that sour taste from Chip.
The sour taste of Chip Kelly.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we had dismantled the roster. He had dismantled the roster so heavily.
Yep.
Just not like 2 years ago or whatever.
Right.
And then Howie Roseman got back control, and he was able to quickly fix it, but quicker than I anticipated. But it was by, week 7 or 8 in the season when you kind of realize, like, this is the best team in the NFL.
Right.
This is by far the best team, and it hurt when Wentz went down, but even then, like, I remember thinking, man, Foles dropped like 27 touchdowns that 1 year.
Yeah.
Foles isn't a bad quarterback.
Right.
He might struggle in St. Louis, but I don't think Foles is a bad quarterback. And I just think our team is that good, and it did kind of feel like destiny.
You guys destroyed us in the Vikings in the NFC championship game, and
yeah, I was about to mention that, but I was like, I'll just maybe let you bring that up.
Well, no, but the Eagles' real strength on that team was their defensive and offensive lines.
Oh,
for
sure.
They had an amazing, Fletcher Cox and then the rotation,
Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
Brandon Graham. What's it called? Derek Barnett.
Yep.
I think Chris Long was an amazing leader and rotational defensive lineman on that team. And then your offensive line had some maulers on it too.
Yep.
You guys controlled the line of scrimmage against the Vikings in that NFC title game and just made us look just terrible.
I think we were on that miracle catch high though still.
Yeah.
We were riding that.
Yeah, no, it was. Did it cut out again, or can you see me?
We can see you. Yeah.
Okay, because mine is saying poor connection again, but I guess it's still working.
Well, we might lose you. Well, maybe we'll jump. I think we'll jump into the two that we had different real quick.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the two that we had different was we didn't have Cunningham or Foles in,
Okay.
which do you want to jump on the first one, or which one do you want to do? You want to do him first or him first?
You go ahead with him first.
All right. So one of them that I did was Steve Van Buren, Hall of Fame class of 65. I like the nicknames. It was Supersonic Steve. He had a bunch of other ones, but that was like the main one. He was the battering ram punch for the Eagles. And I like this from the Pro Football Hall of Fame little speech or intro of him. I made a lot of long runs. I ran from scrimmage and I ran back kicks and I played safety and ran back passes. I just love to run against these 4-man lines they have nowadays. I thought that was pretty hilarious that he's taking a shot at the players today. Like you said, the other guy, Bednar.
Yeah, well, they're kind of a similar era.
Yeah. So I just thought that was funny that you had said that about him earlier. And I'm like, oh, I got that quote here. But number one pick in 1944, all NFL, 6 straight years, 4-time rushing champ, 1944 punt, and 1945 kickoff return champ. He scored the only touchdown in the 48 title game, and they won 7-0. And then he ran for a then record 198 yards in the 1949 title game, which they won 14-0. And then he had the rare triple crown in 45 when he led the league in rushing, scoring, and kickoff returns. So yeah, I thought that was. I think
he was an honorable mention.
Yeah.
I mean, he was one that I would probably say was on like the top 5.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions, but I kind of felt like I had covered that area, I guess, with Bednarik, but he was definitely one that was in consideration. I like that you bring up the nickname.
Yeah.
Because I was actually looking for, what's it called? Chris Berman. I was looking at Chris Berman cards because I saw that they were coming out with NFL Primetime again.
Uh-huh.
And I know he has autos in like Don Russ.
Oh, okay.
That you can get pretty cheap, and I always love watching Chris Berman, and his nicknames for players were always so entertaining. It would always crack me up.
Right.
And it was one of those things, like when I first went to school, like went to college, I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to do sports journalism.
Yep.
And yeah, he was one of those that I grew up watching that I always really enjoyed because he made it so much more entertaining.
Oh, yep. Cool,
and
man.
So he was somebody I always looked up to, and yeah, I always love the nicknames when players have cool or funny nicknames.
Yeah.
But I mean, Nick Foles got the greatest of all time.
Oh.
I mean, the man's in an NFL locker room. If that's his reputation, then you know he.
Right.
he's certainly not embarrassed by his nickname.
Oh man. Well, we have one more Lauren will throw out.
Okay, so instead of the 2 quarterbacks, we went with Van Buren, and we did put Reggie White on our Mount Rushmore for the Eagles. Just looking as an outsider, we didn't put him on the Packers Mount Rushmore because we were holding him for the Eagles. He has a pretty awesome nickname, the Minister of Defense.
Yeah.
He recorded more sacks than games played with the Eagles, 124 sacks in 121 games. In the 1987 strike-shortened season, he played in 12 games and had 21 sacks. If he would have had 16 if he would have played full 16, that sack record would never even be touched, and you Eagles fans might feel different about that.
Yeah, that is true.
He did play 8 of his 15 years with the Eagles. He played 6 with the Packers and 1 with Carolina.
Yep.
He was all-pro 13 of 15 seasons, 10 as a first-team selection, 12 seasons with 10 or more sacks, second all-time in sacks, 198 to Bruce Smith's 200. And what did he have? Did he have like 23 sacks when he played in the USFL too? I mean, he didn't even start his career in the NFL.
Yeah, the Memphis Showboats.
He's an all-decade team for the 80s and 90s, and he's named to the 75th anniversary team. I mean, he has to go on somebody's Mount Rushmore, and you Eagles fans should be proud to have him on your Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
I think it was the most years with you guys. I think that's what kind of pushed him to the Eagles with us. The 8 years with the Eagles.
Yeah, no, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's probably and that's why he was the 5th.
Yeah.
He's probably the greatest player to ever lace up for the Eagles.
Yeah.
You know, he's probably the greatest player to ever play for the Eagles. But I guess it was the way I was measuring it.
Exactly. Yeah.
By quality of player necessarily. It was more by what did they contribute to the franchise. And don't get me wrong, he contributed spectacular production to the franchise, and he was amazing.
Yep.
But it was just, I mean, so he spent 8 seasons in Philly and 7 seasons outside of Philly.
Yep.
6 of them with the Packers. Yeah, it was just, and I think, and I wasn't alone in that.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe we're being picky, I guess.
Sure.
Being appreciative. But also, as much as I hate to say this, it's easier to slot them onto the Eagles Mount Rushmore than maybe the Packers. The Packers have kind of more of an illustrious history.
Oh, for sure they do.
Yeah.
So it's, you know what I mean? It's easy to say, okay, well then, put him on the Eagles against the names that you're comparing him to on the Eagles, you know?
Yeah.
I think what we talked about is Reggie White could possibly be on the NFL's Mount Rushmore. And
maybe that's the one he belongs on.
Yeah.
Either teams.
Right.
Yeah.
Just on the
I mean, as far as if you just had a Mount Rushmore of the 4 best defensive players of all time, Reggie White's in that discussion for sure. And,
I mean, he might be the greatest D lineman ever.
Yeah, I would say he is. I mean, Bruce Smith only has 2 more sacks than him, but I feel like Reggie White was. I don't know. Bruce Smith was great too.
Well, that's why it's so hard to compare between eras and and times and who they were playing and who they were playing for.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes it hard to compare across time, but I guess that's what makes it fun.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, and I love it that we actually have a couple different, we have a different Mount Rushmores between us, because that's what this segment's supposed to bring up, is discussion and differences and debate, and it's fun to talk about football,
Yeah.
And show off a few cards while we do it,
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Wednesday Wows, man. That's when I was first trying to get into cards. I was looking for people that just showed off their collection, and it was hard to find.
Oh, okay.
It just seems like everyone opens product.
Yep.
Opens packs, and I just wanted to see the cards that you already had.
Sure.
That's
enjoyable for me about that.
That's, it seems like breaking product, no matter what it is, people like to watch other people open stuff.
Oh, for sure.
And they like to watch,
intrigue.
And people like to watch other people react to stuff. Those are the biggest videos on YouTube,
Oh, for sure. And I still watch them. I mean,
so do I.
Accounts.
Yeah, my kid.
Cards.
I've actually sat in on a couple reaction videos with my kid and he's in a rock band, and his guitar player.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah.
I saw one of those. I forgot. It was something on
Tools of Rock.
I saw it on one of your Instagram and linked to it or something, and then I went to the YouTube, and I saw you reacting to some song with your son. I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've done it a few times. I've done it 3 times now. I got to go and sit in on the reaction videos. It's a lot of fun. They seem to like to have me on the show, and I like to do it. So it's really organic. You just sit there and watch a music video and just react to it. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna have that be the end of the Mount Rushmore episode. But we'll have you stick on the line. We'll talk for another minute if you don't mind. But we just can't thank you enough.
Do you want to try to call back? Because I haven't been able to see you guys for the last at least 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. For sure.
We'll call you back in a few. And thanks again.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Finn.
Yeah. Awesome job, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on again.
Yeah. We'll talk to you in a few.
Yep. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, that's going to do it for the Mount Rushmore of the Eagles. It was awesome to get Finn's perspective on it, and super great of him to join on with us and do it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed having him back on the show. It's been really, that's the one thing, like I said, we've talked about is relationships we've built doing our show. So it was fun reconnecting with Finn.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, till next time, it's Skull Brothers out. All right, everybody, if you made it this far into the video, we're going to do a little giveaway segment. We started with this in the first few episodes, kind of got away from it, and
Our bad.
yeah. We're putting this at the end of the episode, so what I'm finding is when I'm watching other people's videos, it's coming clear that not everybody makes it to the end. So
Yeah.
but basically our giveaway is pretty easy. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, or don't like it, but we'd like it if you like it.
Comment, and just comment.
Comment in the comment, just put whether you would prefer a black grab bag, blue grab bag, and of course our favorite color, purple. Yeah, purple giveaway. We've had a couple of people get their packages and open them, and it seemed to go over pretty well.
Yeah, really positive feedback from a few people. So
yeah, so we're gonna jump back into it. We're gonna do it. Hopefully, you made it to the end, and comment below, and we will send it. We will follow through. All right, take care. We're out.
Skull Brothers out.